Everybody was a kung fu fighting. Those kicks were fast as lightning. In fact, it was a little bit frightening. But they fought with expert timing. That was Funky Chinaman from Funky Chinatown. They're bashing them up, they're bashing them down. It's an ancient Chinese art. Everybody knew that part. This is actually an ancient art too. This is from Niagara College. This is a certified original, and this is a Berliner Weisse. I actually quite enjoy Berliner Weisses, so I was quite excited when I saw this Berliner Weisse sitting on the shelf. 3.5% alcohol by volume, so pretty good for Berliner Weisses. This is ABVs, fairly low ABVs. Sour wheat beer is what I should be getting out of this. You would normally add basically a Woodruff syrup to it. I don't have any Woodruff syrup. If you want to drink it stereotypically the way it's served right now, it would be Woodruff syrup with a straw in like a tumbler glass, basically. From what I've been told by all my buddies that come back from Germany. I have tried a Berliner Weisse with the Woodruff syrup. I have tried one without the Woodruff syrup. I personally prefer them without, but I like sour beers. Why you would purposely make a sour beer and then sweeten it with syrup is beyond me. Why didn't you just make a sweet beer then, right? Why didn't you? So, something fun to do with these if you do buy it. If you do buy a Berliner Weisse, something fun to do is to pour them into a bunch of different glasses, into a bunch of small glasses, and, well, not small per se, but say you have a bunch of dollar store tulips. Put some in all 4 dollar store tulips. Have it sour, or have it on its own. Have it on its own through a straw. Have it on its own with either Woodruff syrup or simple syrup, or even a maple syrup of some type, but make it a good maple syrup, don't make it like Aunt Jemima. And then have it with a syrup through a straw. And then you can see the 4 different ways the beer could go, and it's actually a cool little experiment to do. It's almost like you've had your own vertical, but with one beer. So look, pretty spot on. I mean, straw colored, a little yellow, a little bit of stuff floating in there, unfiltered, beautiful, no head really. The Samuel Adams taster glass, not giving me much of a nose. Let's try the bottle. That is weird. I can't say it doesn't smell sour, because it does have that sour scent. But, you know how we always talk about, paradigms, and your experiences are what will give you your paradigm for what you taste. Wow, I really probably should have this light on, but I don't even care. This beer, when I sniff it out of the bottle, I get a hint of sourness, but what I'm really smelling, and again, the scent isn't everything, and I'm not getting anything out of the glass, and that's what I'm really going to mark it on for the most part, is the glass. I'm not getting anything out of the glass, so I can't take or give away points for the nose on there. Visual appeal is nice, but that smells like floaties. Any of you that have kids that have beach balls or anything else that you have to blow up for your kids, you know that, like, that smell that's on the rubber, the smell that's on that rubber and plastic. Basically, the smell of the when you open it for the first time, the smell that's on the blowhole that you have to blow into. It's that. That's what You know what, though, as horrible as it is to say, I actually don't mind smelling that smell. I mean, It's not something I want to smell in my beer, but it's bringing back memories of both my kids at pools and my kids at the beach and my childhood when it wasn't horrible. Because sometimes I was with my aunt or my grandmother or my grandmother on my dad's side, and that's when I would do stuff like that, and it was a great time. So, yeah, it's weird, but it doesn't smell bad. Let's try the beer. Cheers. Okay. What process did you use to sour your beer? That is something I actually should start asking questions when I pick these up, because I know as students they don't always do things the way that you would normally do it, or they try different experiments, or they're trying something different with the beer. The problem is the person that's at the cache doesn't always know everything about every beer, and they sometimes can't take the time to email John to find everything out, because sometimes he misses my emails, sometimes he doesn't. Anyway. An interesting beer. Sour? Slightly. Very soft, very... Okay, mouthfeel. Let's just start from the beginning. Mouthfeel, very light. Body, very light as well. The flavor fades very fast. Both of those, kind of normal for the style. I say kind of because it can vary. Sourness? Yes, there is a touch of sourness. Not as sour as a lot of the Berliner Weisses I've had, but there is a touch of sourness. Flavor overall, other than that sourness, a graininess, which you would get from a wheat beer anyway. But, rubber. Kind of latexy, actually. Kind of like a sulfite. I don't know what process they use to sour. I don't know if they used, there's lots of different methods you could use. I don't know which one they used. But yeah, it's rubbery. That smell I smelt that reminded me of my childhood, I still am getting that because I'm remembering when I blow up those damn things, the taste that's in my mouth. All that being said, that taste is there for just a second and it runs away. And you're left with that grainy, sour taste. So is it a bad beer? No. Actually, you know what else I'm kind of getting? I should ask one time when I'm there. Actually, I can kind of ask it right now because I know they watch some of the videos. Do you only have a specific strains of yeast you use? Do you only have a list of like 3 or 4 or 5 or 2 even strains of yeast you use? Because this is actually, after my palate's cleared, what I'm left with is kind of the residual esters that I would get from the first campus ale. Those kind of fruity esters that I was getting from it. Bad beer? Not at all. A little odd? Definitely. Would I buy it again? You know what, at $5.60 for a 650, it's possible I'd buy it again. Would you normally get a rubbery taste from a Berliner Weisse? No. But would they have the time to properly sour a Berliner Weisse? No, because as a student brew, you don't really have the proper time, so you kind of use some of the shortcuts to sour it, which could be why I'm getting the flavors I'm getting. It's a hard one to mark because I like it and I hate it at the same time. Whatever student made this, I like your beer and I hate the fucking beer at the same time. And I love the beer and I hate the beer at the same time. I love the memories it's bringing back to me when I sniff it, and I'm hating the fact that I'm thinking of those memories when I'm drinking it. Excuse me. That does have a nice light carbonation though. Burps fairly nicely. if I had added the syrup to this, I probably wouldn't have gotten any of the weird flavors that I'm getting. But I wouldn't have enjoyed a Berliner Weisse in the true aspect of it. I wouldn't have enjoyed the true beer for what it is. Okay, you know what? Here's how I'm going to rate it. I'm going to give it a 6.75 out of 10. Now, for those of you, maybe this student even, if you're not familiar with my ranking scale, it's basically ranked. I'm not saying you're you are 67.5% by that rank, but basically my ranking scale goes on would I ever drink it again. So, a 7 and up, I will actively support, I will actively suggest, and I will actively buy again. 9 and up is the oh my god amazing top beers. But 7 and up is I will buy it again. I really do enjoy it. 5 to 6.75 is, you know what, I will drink it if I'm at a pub. I'll buy it if I'm at a pub and that's all that there is offered that isn't macro, or my buddies buy it. I will happily drink it without complaint, but I will not buy it. 3 to 5, well, 3 to 4.75 is I will drink it, but I'll probably complain. And 0 to 2.75 is I will not drink that shit again. Screw you for even offering it. And yeah, this is at the very top of the I won't buy it again, but I don't have a problem drinking it. There's nothing per se wrong with this beer. I just don't want to pay for a Berliner Weisse. It kind of is rubbery to me. To you, you might not find it that way. You might actually find those esters and everything else nice to you. Again, our paradigms matter a big deal in tasting. Not my favorite Berliner Weisse at all. Not my favorite beer at all, but it's a good, well-made beer. Thank you, YouTube, for watching. Have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.